So, in 2018, I had a roommate who was now a very good friend of mine. Her name is Chandel. She used to let me drive her car to practice driving in the parking lots. I had just gotten my permit. I was just trying to get comfortable behind the wheel. I was actually very excited to learn how to drive. But, I think I got a bit ahead of myself. So she had let me do that for like a couple of months after we had finished our like fashion show practices or whatever. The parking lot was empty. For her 21st birthday, we decided to go meet up with her older cousin who was gonna take us to go get a bottle. And it was about a 3 mile drive, like 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, we are having a great day, the sun is shining. I got my sandals on. Can I drive to our friend's house? And she was like, oh my God, yeah, absolutely, no problem. Mind you, this is my first time driving in the street. I had never driven in the street before. She was like, yeah, let's go for it, whatever. We go, get in the car, everything's fine, she's sitting in the passenger seat, I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I pull out of the parking lot, I pull out of the parking spot, reverse, everything's cool. Pull out of the parking lot, I'm driving down the road, I make a couple turns, I'm changing lanes here and there when I need to, and everything's fine for about the 7 minutes of the 10-minute drive until we get to maybe the last turn before we have to get to our friend's house, and it's a 4-way intersection. So we pull up to the intersection, we're coming this way, and there's a car over here and there's a car over here. So the car over here turns, and she was like, okay, it's your turn to go. And I was like, all right, I don't really know what that means, but sure. So I put my foot on the gas, I start turning, and I guess I wasn't turning fast enough. And so she reached over and started turning the wheel, which kind of made me panic, and I pressed down on the pedal a bit harder than I needed to. So as she's turning, I'm pressing down on the gas, and we hit this really sharp turn and scrape the side of a pickup truck with her cute little Nissan Altima. Take off her side mirror, the window on the driver's seat stops working, the car, you can't really steer it, broke something about an axle. I don't know much about cars, but couldn't steer. We had to sit there for 3 hours waiting for the tow truck to come. Her cousin eventually walked down the road to come check on us. A bunch of people stopped to ask if we were okay. We actually ended up on somebody's front lawn, and they came out to ask if we were okay, if we needed water, if we needed to use the bathroom, which was kind of funny because we really ruined their yard. But eventually the tow truck came. The man was very nice. He let us sit in the front with him. And we went back to campus, and he dropped off her car, but I just felt really bad because it was the day before her 21st birthday, and she didn't have a car. And I didn't really know how to make up for it. She was very forgiving. She was like, a lot of worse things could have happened. We could have died. So we made it out alive. And I remember after it happened, I was like crying hysterically, and she just like gave me a hug, and she was like, it's fine. But to this day, we're still very good friends. That's my girl. I see her when I can because, adult life. But yeah, very formative character developing story for me.
So, I've always kind of been into cars. I would always watch my dad drive, and then I would just always look at cars and be like so enamored by certain cars. And it was about in 2017, 2018 when I got my permit. And when I got my permit, when my auntie, she said, well, when you come up here, because I usually go for like spring break or like summer vacation, she'll teach me how to drive. And she has this like 2005 Acura RSX that like I love. Her name is Irma. She's a green car. It's a 2-seater, so it's a coupe. And that's how I kind of learned how to drive. Every time I would go up there, I would drive Irma. And my auntie just had me practice all the time. It was kind of like I was a natural. And then this was like in 2017, 2018. So in 2020, when COVID hit, I finally got my license. Everything was shut down, but I was still able to take my test. And I went to go take my test, and it felt like a weight had been lifted off of my chest and my shoulders, because I just wanted to drive so bad for all these years, and I finally got my license. So once I got my license, I started driving my dad's car for a little bit. He has a 2009 Nissan Altima, and about a year ago, he actually passed it on to me, and it became officially mine. And I love my car. Like, I drive my car all the time, everywhere. I actually did a lot of work on my car by myself, which I'll show you. I put a screen in there. I put tints on my car. I did like customizations on the seats. So I absolutely love my car. I love driving. I feel like it's just like a freeing thing for me. I very much enjoy it. It's just a lot of freedom, but also I think driving is a skill that not everybody has, and I see that on the road pretty frequently, that they kind of just hand out licenses, I feel like. But once you really know how to drive and like learn the fundamentals of how to work your car and also reading traffic, I feel like that's the best part for me, is that I always have to stay alert, and it's just really fun to, I guess, plan ahead while I drive. So it's really freeing. But that's my story. I'm gonna go show you my car and kind of show you how to drive. Let's go.